What happened to you? Where did you go?
You mean on the last like 4 things I flaked on, or for the last 2 years?
Pick whichever you want.
um, well, I kind of pulled out a little bit when I did the book, right? That was like 2 years. And then came back pretty strong for like a year. I was going back into the whole thing. And it was funny because when I did the book, I realized that the whole hedonism thing wasn't really my bag and just wasn't making me happy. So I came to that realization, much like I came to the realization that money didn't make me happy, and then still chased money for a long time. But yeah, I kind of wanted to get off the hedonistic treadmill, and I came back after the book. I mean, there's a lot of like people that were talking shit and whatever, and I kind of did it a little bit for Ignite, and also just because I was kind of bored and COVID was over. But I definitely realized after going, I did. What was it? I did France, and then we did South Africa, did South America. I did Dubai, kind of like a whole tour, Maldives, and then I did Thailand. And I just realized like I didn't want to travel around with 12 girls everywhere that I went, and I didn't want to dedicate my whole life to my sex addiction. So that was just the end of it.
Why? Why didn't you want that? What were you believing previously that you sort of disillusioned yourself of?
Well, the belief part of it, I would say that pleasure will make you happy, and that hedonism was the answer, and that if I got a ton of pussy and had a bunch of money and did all this stuff, that would make me happy. And it did. It was fun. Like, don't get me wrong. It was fun to fuck hot girls and do all that stuff. But I just went to the edge of the earth with it. And I think there was a point. I mean, there's definitely a point. I was on a yacht, 300-foot yacht, 30 girls, and I'm just like, I should be stoked. And I wasn't. And like my energy was being sucked in a bunch of different directions. I just remember just being way happier surfing with my buddies, doing a couple vacation, like all the stuff that I'd kind of done before Ignite. So I think 2012 till 2016 was probably the craziest. That was like the Motley Crue, rock star, like drug, sex, and rock and roll. Like that was it. I, became famous. It was like chicks were, fucking me in bathrooms. It was just like the crazy shit, and it was new and it was fun. And I did that for a long time. And then I got a girlfriend in like 16, and I was just, like I said, much happier doing the couple vacations, surfing. The guys who do the guy shit would work out during the day and then, play cards, whatever. I could fuck my girlfriend at night. There was no distractions, no stress, no headaches, no bullshit. And I was just like, fuck, this is much better. And then I decided to Ignite because I just kind of didn't want to be taking pictures in parking lots for the next 30 years with every asshole that came up to me and not have like something to show for
Not
it.
monetize the audience in some way.
I just felt like I should build a brand. I should just do something with it. And so it was, and also I don't know, I was watching TV, I think it was like 2017, and they said weed was becoming legal, or weed was legal. And I was like, this is perfect. I smoke a lot of weed. A lot of people wouldn't want to touch this space. Let me do this. And so I decided to launch Ignite. And when we did that, it was just everything I'd done before on steroids. Literally.
Because now you've got a capitalist justification. You've got a commercial reason to go and do this.
And, we'd raised $100 million. It was like, it was just
got to make it work.
Let's go do it. Let's just do it stronger than anybody's ever done it. Let's, kind of like do a modern version of Playboy. And it was just kind of, I don't know. It was just like all the stuff that I kind of wanted to do when I was younger. Like I wanted to fucking be like the new Hugh Hefner. I want to do all that stuff. And I did that, and it was fun. The $1 million parties, the travel in the world, all the stuff. But I was already kind of over it from the realization that I was happier having a girlfriend than doing the harem thing. And now I'm doing the harem thing on like a crazy scale with like 100 girlfriends and all this shit. And, yeah, but then I felt kind of trapped because now I had a brand and now I kind of had to do it. And it was almost like COVID saved me a little bit.
This is the difference between being homeless and going camping, right? That one is sort of mandated upon you, and the other one is a choice that you get to make.
Yeah. And it's a lot more fun when it's your choice. You're doing the same thing, but if you're choosing to do it, it's different.
How big of a difference was that sort of framing? The fact that previously this was adventurous, it was on your timeline, there was no degree of pressure for you to be able to do it, and then you come